Bill, anything of note happening in college football that we could talk about this morning?
No, it's a pretty it's a pretty bland day here in Boston. Pretty bland day.
Has this news about Bill Belichick surprised you?
No, I don't think so. Bill is Bill's a football coach. He's a football coach at heart, and I think that when you look at the landscape of where we're at, I don't want to speak for him at all, but he had a great opportunity, and in his opinion, and he went for it, and I think when you look at college football, I think it's great for college football. I would also say it's great for the ACC. This narrative out there that the ACC is third and all this other stuff. I mean, here's Bill Belichick taking a job in the ACC. So I'd say it's good for college football. It's good for the ACC.
Well, are you surprised if there were not any NFL offers that were available when it came to Bill?
No, not at all. One of the things about the NFL, I think I've said this to you guys before, and regardless of who you are, obviously him being, the in my opinion, the greatest coach of all time in the NFL. I mean, it's still the power structure in the NFL and most organizations is, it's different. And in college, you certainly have people you need to answer to as a coach. There's no doubt about it. But you can, in many ways, you can set up the program in your own vision and not have to get it approved by, let's just call it a partner, GM partner, or whatever it is. You can get it, the way that you feel like you need to get it to be successful, and I'm sure he saw it that way.
Ross Tucker on this radio station the other day said that Bill will be a horrible college coach, essentially because I think he called it his negative style of coaching won't resonate with college players. Wiggy's been saying that you can't coach these guys the way you can coach guys in the NFL or you could coach guys in the NFL. I know you may have experienced that so far when it comes to your experience at BC. Do you think that's going to be an issue for Bill?
I don't see it that way. I think that, I tell these guys at BC, if you take 4 classes or 5 classes, this is your 5th or 6th class. So in many ways, as a head coach, you're a teacher. And so I think that one of the things that Bill is he's a great teacher, right? So I think he'll and Greg, and I think Wig would agree with this. He's a very, very bright guy, right? So he's going to be able to adapt to his surroundings and things like that. But I think in the end we're teachers, right? So we have to adapt to who we're teaching, and I'm sure he'll be able to do that.
Bill, the one thing that I look at is how does he, or maybe how do you, and then how will he deal with guys, because you see it all the time. Florida just had a kid and Jack Pyburn who went in and says, here's my demands for next season or I'm transferring, and that's what it seems like a lot of these college kids are doing.
I think in the end, Wig, and I really want to answer this the right way. I think in the end, I'll give you the example of Boston College right now. So far, we have not lost one guy that we really, wanted back on this team. And the reason for that is honesty. To be able to look a guy in the eye and just say, hey, look, man, we're not going to be able to fulfill those demands, or, hey, look, here's what we can do for you relative to school, football, and NIL. And if you don't like it, there's the door. Mm-hmm. Because in the end, football is a team sport. It will never go away from that. There is obviously some individuality in football relative to pro football and college football. But in the end, it's a team sport. And if you preach the team and you set it up the way that you really believe in, I believe you can succeed. Now, time will tell, Wig. Time will tell. But if a guy came into me and had a bunch of demands, I'd be honest with you, Wig. I don't care where he was on the depth chart. I would say there's the door, and take care. Good luck to you. Mm-hmm. So that's the way I approach it. I'm not saying Bill will approach it that way, but I don't really put up with a lot of demands at Boston College.
Someday, probably not on the radio, when we're out together or something in person, you're going to tell me what Tommy Castellanos did to you.
Oh, my God.
He didn't do anything.
That's the problem. Hey, Billy, did Bill call you at all and seek your counsel before he signed on to be the Tar Heels head coach?
No, he didn't, Curtis. I really, like, I just, Bill and I owe a lot to Bill. He hired me at the Patriots and promoted me, taught me a ton. But I'm not as close to Bill as, Matty P or some of the other guys. I'm not. So we text. He texted me after the Syracuse game. He texted me after the Florida State game. Hey, great win, things like that. But no, I have great respect for Bill, and I owe a lot to Bill. He taught me a lot about the game, but we're not talking on the phone every day.
To be fair, Billy, I don't think it's physically possible to be closer to Bill than Matty P.
Keep an eye on Bears.
Yeah, Bears is pretty close.
Has Bears told you that he's staying with you, or is he going back to Bill?
All I can tell you is Bears is the best, and he's been a huge asset to us here at Boston College, and hopefully he's here for a long time.
I hope so, too. But, Bill, we talk a lot about the college player right now and how they don't really care about what you've done in the past, whether you're Bill Belichick, whether you're Bill O'Brien. Do you feel that way, or do you feel like Bill Belichick going to UNC, the parents, the players, are going to look at that as such a plus of a Super Bowl winning coach, one of the greatest coaches of all time, being able to coach your child or you personally?
I think that's a great question. I really think that what it still comes down to, whether it's pro or college, but especially in colleges, the relationships that you have with the people in the organization, right? The players mainly, the players' families. I'll give you an example. We just had a guy who had to have knee surgery, and in the pros, you wouldn't be on the phone with his parents, right? You would not be talking to this guy's mom about knee surgery. Like, that's not, but in college football, I'm on the phone, 2 or 3 times with this guy's mom, talking her through the process, right? Okay, here he's in the pre-op stage right now. Then he's going to get surgery at this time. Then here's how it's going to work when he's out of surgery. He's coming to health services at Boston College. Like, there's a level of care as the head coach in college that you have to have. That was the one thing too, when I was at Alabama, Nick Saban and his wife, Terry Saban, they poured their heart and soul into that program. And I think that's really, what it is as the head coach. You are pouring into this program because you want what's best for the kids. And, at the same time, you want to win. And that's what we try to do here. So it's really about, in my opinion, the relationships with the players and their families.
One of the arguments against Bill being successful that I've heard the last 24 hours is, I'll call it the grind. The dealing with boosters, dealing with donors, making recruiting trips. Is for you, has college, being a head football coach in college, has that been more of a grind than it was in the NFL?
Not really. Greg, the people that I deal with at BC, and I think too, I'll go back to this. And these are really good questions because it's making me think about why I took this job. It's about the fit, right? So I'm a good fit at BC. So when I talk to, the donors at BC, or I talk to the administrators or the people here at BC, I don't want to go down a list of names, but Greg, you guys know Courtney, Curtis, who the big people here are. They're great people. I fit with them. I'm from Boston, or I'm from Massachusetts. A lot of them are. They really want to see BC as a winner. They believe in BC. I believe in BC. So I think it's about the fit. I think so for Bill, to be, who he's dealing with and things like that. It's, in the end, it's a good question for him. But I enjoy the people I deal with here. Whether it's calling a guy, hey, can you make a donation, or it's just checking in with somebody. There's a guy here named Dr. Jerry Healy. This guy is one of the best guys ever. Somebody that texts me after every single game, or we have lunch every once in a while. He's just a great Boston guy. Boston Children's Hospital doctor, was a legendary doctor there. That's the example of who I deal with a lot. And so they're great people here at BC to deal with.
Bill does, excuse me, I think that maybe his personality, Belichick's, could potentially help him because of the fact that one thing a lot of coaches don't do in college football is they're not open and honest with the athletes and, especially the parents. Do you think that might be something that actually favors him in college football, is his honesty?
I think that's one of the main things that I learned from him. And so the answer would be yes. Like, again, I try to give you guys some examples. Like over the last 10 days, I've met with every kid on our team. And some guys come in here and say like, hey, what are the things I need to do to get better? What are the things I need to do to maybe, let's just call it earn a little bit more money? And I tell them, hey, man, like, this is the thing. You don't practice consistently, or, here's some things you have to get better at relative to the weight room, or to develop more explosion, or, to learn your plays better. You make a mistake, once every 4 plays. Like, we got to learn our plays better. So being honest is the only way to go. It's the only way to go. You can't BS these guys. You got to tell them what it is. And so, obviously Bill never BS players, so that's what he'll be good at.
Well, Bill O'Brien, really appreciate your thoughts on Bill Belichick. It won't happen, I guess, this upcoming season, but at some point the two of you will be across from each other on a college football field somewhere, which is pretty wild.
I don't think we play till somebody told me last night we don't play North Carolina till 2028.
Well, in the ACC title game.
Right.
I'm saying in the regular season.
Right,
in the regular
right.
season. Yeah.
Yep, at Chapel Hill.
Chapel Bill.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe we'll get the future schedules adjusted a little bit, and we can play them sooner than that in the regular season, but who knows?
Oh, how great would that be? The opener next year would have been Bill versus Billy. Oh,
Yeah,
A+.
Great.
Thank you, guys.
One of the great defensive minds of our time up against one of the great offensive minds of our time. Oh, wait, Bill, are you still here? I didn't want you to hear that. I want to say that. I don't want to say that in front of you. All right.
Oh, my God.
Hey, I'm not here next Thursday, so Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that stuff. I really appreciate you being on the show, and it's you're one of the best interviews we have, and everybody always tells me it. So thanks a lot. We appreciate it, Bill O'Brien.
Merry Christmas to all you guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, that's Bill O'Brien with his thoughts on Bill Belichick heading to Chapel Bill, as Curtis just said.